Hi guys, Mr. Talbot here for you, making you a video over our 3.3 and 3.4 Enlightenment essay. This is a longer tutorial video, so like with all of the longer ones, we're going to kind of go part by part. Would encourage you to pause it as you're watching, do the part that was just shown, then move on to the next step. Um, this assignment is going to take you several hours to do, so I would encourage you to kind of break it up based on the parts that you see. Just make sure you're, of course, getting it in by our due date. So we're writing an essay that's going to be how does basically the Enlightenment affect either the world back then or kind of the world today or somewhere in between. But we know the Enlightenment has had a major impact. So definitely want to make sure you got your 3.1 and 3.2 notes and assignment done. I think that's going to be super duper useful for you, connecting to these Enlightenment ideas. You're going to pick one essay topic from the list here. Can be do political revolutions. This is things kind of from the back then, right after the Enlightenment, American, French, Haitian Revolution, those kind of things. Um, there's a more current eventsy one with selection E here, where you've got kind of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and kind of looking at human rights over the last 75 years around the world. A and E, I would say, are probably the two most straightforward options, but you can do this assignment with any of the other ones. So if you want to look more at the abolitionist movement to end slavery, more at first wave feminism and women pushing for the right for kind of equal citizenship, property rights, and voting, and then modern social justice rights movements, we're going to be looking at things like the American Civil Rights Movement, the Hispanic Farm Workers Union led by, or movement led by Chavez, as well as the LGBT rights movement of kind of the present day. So that's selection D. Pick whichever one you prefer. Do not care which one you pick. Whichever selection you make, though, go ahead and highlight it. So let's say I'm going to go with B, or we'll look at A, I guess, because I think that one's pretty straightforward. And just highlight it, and then go ahead and click it. Okay, that helps me kind of know as I'm grading to make sure you're kind of on the right path. So once I highlight it, I need to make a copy of it. And this next step is super important. I'm going to in Schoology, this is the only document I'm going to see, but initially, but the most and all of your work and your finalists are going to be in this document. You want to be able to get good specific comments from me so you understand your grade, and that way, in case you need to make it a revision. So go ahead and hit the share button up there. You've probably done this a bunch of times. Change it to where uh, I don't care if you change anyone with the link, whoever, whatever. Make sure to change to commenter. You want to be able to allow comments. Go ahead and do that. And then you're going to copy the link once you've made it a commenting thing. And I'm going to paste that there. Before you forget to do anything, because that's going to be a really frustrating reason not to be able to grade and for you to get your grades. So make sure you allow commenting on this. All right. Now let's talk about how we actually do this assignment after I've rambled for 3 minutes. So you got your essay prompt. You're going to find that in purple. What we are doing is writing an essay, and we're going to synthesize information from multiple sources. I have done all the research for you. You are not going to need to leave this document for the most part, unless it tells you to. We want to be able to connect to Enlightenment ideas, things that'll help with that, your notes for 3.2 and your 3.1 assignment, as well as this chart here I kind of put for quick reference. Every time you're reading a document, would encourage you to do your good close reading skills. That's where you highlight, add comments. And so, you know, I would be wanting to read this document again. I'm looking for Enlightenment ideas. And I'm like, oh, dang. The natural liberty of man is to be free from superior power. I'm going to say, I want to highlight that and make a comment back. Hey, that sounds a lot like natural rights, which is, you know, my boy John Locke. So I'm going to throw that in there. That way I kind of have it as I go through. Okay. So as I go through these different documents, again, I want to be filling out this chart with these different Enlightenment ideas that have been referenced. Okay. So each document is going to have its own chart. Fill those out again. The Enlightenment idea the document refers to, you know, include the thinker that it's going to help you. So I would say, you know, there was a thing about there about natural rights, or, oh, dang, here's the thing about unalienable rights. Among these are life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. So I'm going to copy that from my quote. I'm going to say, hey, this is my friend John Locke, and this is natural rights. And then I would over here explain things like, John Locke believed everyone was born with certain rights, And we see these referred to in the Declaration of Independence. These are rights the government can't take away. So that's me kind of explaining the different evidence that I got. Okay, if you can find multiple pieces of evidence, multiple ideas per document, that's going to kind of lead you along the right path. So we're going to go through, and you might not be doing this specific one. That's okay. You're going to have these blue tables to fill up. You're going to find evidence that connects to an Enlightenment idea and kind of follow the individual directions there. You will notice I kind of put some of the more tricky words at the bottom here that help you along the way. And again, the expectation is not that you do this all in one sitting. I know this is a long document. These are primary source documents. It's going to be normal for it to take you 15, 20 minutes to go through each individual document. That's okay. We're giving you the time this week to take advantage of that. So with each of them, another thing I need you to think about is going to be this thing called a counterclaim. So we'll talk about that, and that's what kind of usually one of the document sets is going to kind of help with this. Okay, and so here I've got, what are some unique things about this revolution, some similarities between the revolutions. Again, follow the individual directions because every video is a little bit different here. Got the same prompt down here. So I would say if you can get to the first 3 steps kind of by the end of Tuesday, in the Wednesday, you're probably good. Spend Wednesday, Thursday organizing and writing your essay. Friday, you're going to want to be taking the multiple choice assessment as well as obviously studying ahead of time. So you're going to now organize your essay using the evidence you've got up here. Again, you're not having to leave this document, so take advantage of that. So to help you kind of come up with a claim, you need to be able to argue something, okay? You can't tell me the Enlightenment ideas inspired political revolutions. I know they did. Everybody knows they do. That's a fact. It's not an argument. So to make an argument, you're going to tell me the Enlightenment ideas inspired political revolutions in the 1700s. Do you strongly, heck yeah, it was the Enlightenment. It was pretty much just the Enlightenment. So strongly agree. Do you more agree than disagree? This is probably the one you should pick. You can go the more disagree now. There was other stuff that was inspiring that was more important, or you're like, absolutely not. The Enlightenment had nothing to do with these political revolutions. It was way other. Don't pick that one because that'd be wrong. Okay. You can probably argue anywhere from B through D. I think C makes the best essay. You do you. But then write a claim. I would say, the Enlightenment revolution had a lot of major had a major impact on the political revolutions, although there were other ideas in addition, such as economic concerns. Something along that could be a claim that's right. And that claim is going to be the first sentence of your essay. Then you need to have subclaims to your essay. So there's a couple different ways you can do your subclaims. I give you these ideas kind of in the blue table. Again, your document might look a little different because it's a different topic, but subclaims are, separate Enlightenment ideas that inspired. So, there's the Enlightenment idea of natural rights. There's the Enlightenment idea of separation of powers. There's the Enlightenment idea of women's rights for some of these. So those would be an Enlightenment idea. Supporting evidence, where do you get the supporting evidence from? Above. You tell me what the evidence is, and you tell me which document you got it from. This is hopefully a lot of copying and pasting from your writing above. Not necessarily straight from the doc, could be, but a lot of your own writing above. The counterclaim is what are stuff besides the Enlightenment that inspired your revolution or inspired the first wave of feminism, or, how are human rights not being followed by the Enlightenment ideas? Whatever the case might be, use the document you've been provided, okay? And then to get to a higher level of the scoring guide, why is that evidence less significant than the evidence you have about the Enlightenment ideas? Why is your side of the argument stronger and better? Not why is the other thing made up, because it's not made up, but why is it just not as significant? Once you've got it organized, you're going to write your essay. So there's not a set template, but I will give you a couple ideas. Have that introductory claim as the first part of your essay. So that, the Enlightenment ideas had a major impact on the first wave of feminism, okay, or whatever you pick. And then you're going to go into your evidence. You're going to introduce your first subclaim. One of the Enlightenment ideas that inspired the first wave of feminism was the idea of equality. And then you would start giving your evidence from equality from an Enlightenment thinker, equality from some of your documents, or whatever the case might be. And again, supporting with multiple pieces of evidence for each subclaim, and then maybe have another paragraph, a new paragraph, for the next Enlightenment idea you want to talk about. and with multiple pieces of evidence, and then have another paragraph for your counterclaim. So here's some other things that inspired the first wave of feminism, or some other concerns that led to the abolitionist movement, whatever the case might be. Um, Finally, you want to have a concluding statement where you kind of wrap it all up, retell me your claim, reconnect it to the Enlightenment. That's going to help you score well here. The better you organize your sources, group it together in kind of logical ways, moving further over here, making sure you have a good thesis, that introductory statement that you're connecting to with your subclaims is great. And then the counterclaim, make sure you have it clearly that you think it's the counterclaim, that you don't think this is the most important evidence. And then get all the way over to a 5. Why maybe is it not as significant? So again, all these charts are designed to kind of give you there. Guys, I know this is a long tutorial video. I know this is a long time. Break it up. If you get stuck and want me to check halfway through, you should absolutely email me and we will look at it together. We'll workshop it together. Have a great day. Email me if you got questions and be